Well, time for another garden edition from Red's Bohemian Hillside. My tomatoes down there are over 6 feet tall. Did some pruning and taking off some of the kind of diseased leaves today. Picked some tomatoes. My potatoes are getting close to harvest time. And peppers. And I've made an addition to my garden, thanks to a suggestion from Damon Hinkie, to put an automated watering device in place. I've got these irrigation lines that I've typically have, but I've been running this stuff manually. And with this little Orbit 4-zone controller, I can set it to water regularly. And at this time of year here in Northwest Arkansas, water is pretty important. So I can set this thing up to run every 4th day or so. You can pick your time schedule and the amount of time you want it to run. So it is delivering a good dose of water down in here under the peppers and tomatoes. Oh. I've got some habaneros coming on. A yowza. Also, I think I found a source of one of my critter challenges. Somebody's been eating about 10 or 15% of my tomatoes off of the vines. And I discovered a big burrow spot under my fence. Today's harvest with some cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes. I'm gonna try and stuff some of these hatch chilies for dinner tonight, along with some shishito peppers and fresh sliced tomatoes. A vegetarian delight. But over here on the backside, I did some weed whacking, cleaned up the area around the garden today. But I found a spot where somebody has burrowed under my fence. And I've added some rocks to try and fill them down. Won't probably be too much of a deterrent, but we'll see if they get moved around in the next 24 to 48 hours. Also spent some time weed whacking the thigh-high grass in the orchard. There's my rain-eared cherry and my Montgomery, a couple of peach trees, the apples, the plum, the pears. So got all this knocked down. And with it on the irrigation system, we get water about every 5 days. I water for about 90 minutes. Help keep that going. I've got some leeks, which is a new crop for me this year. Shared some of those yesterday. I'm gonna probably this week get out here and be harvesting 100 pounds of potatoes. So that'll be on the horizon for folks. Let's take one more walk down there by those gigantic tomato plants. I spent some time training them up today to the tops of the rack. So I let these go all summer. They'll end up kind of withering a bit in the middle of the heat, but I've got some nice sized tomatoes coming on up here on the upper growth, which is good to add to this. I've been pulling off these kind of diseased leaves. They have a tendency to contaminate the next plant if you don't tear them out of there. So I just go through and kind of break them off, keep them from contacting the other plants. But these guys are getting monstrous. Well, this season's garden test has gone pretty well. If you're enjoying these Redenbaugh YouTube videos about the garden and the bees and the orchards and even a little cooking, got a little sweat going on here from being out here so long today. Hit that subscribe button. It's right down there. Love to have you following us. Love bringing all this information to you. Have a great one.